Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is noun phrase 129. Noun phrase today is a softball question. Okay, let's take a look at the note here. If someone, especially a politician or someone of significance, is asked a softball question, he or she is purposely asked an easy question. A hardball question would be a difficult question. We say that someone is playing hardball, or if we say somebody's playing hardball, it suggests that one is very aggressive and highly competitive type in politics and business. I think it was on MSN. There was that show that was called Hardball, I think with Tim Matthews, where that was the idea, that's why he named it Hardball, is I guess when he guests on his shows that he is implying that he asks the tough questions. That he didn't just fool around with softball questions. He really tried to get to the point. Even though, to be honest, I think sometimes if it's a politician he likes, I think he even asks softball questions too. But that's what it means. That's what we say. So that's why he named his show Hardball. And this is why we use hardball and softball. So let's continue here. The origin comes from the idea that softball is a less dangerous and easier game. Since a softball is a lot bigger and softer, and usually cannot be thrown or hit at the same speed as like a fastball, in baseball, or a fast hardball in baseball. Therefore, it is less dangerous and less aggressive. Even though softball is still a bit hard. If you got hit with like a line drive, it probably still hurt, but it can't do the same damage. I even remember I was in Little League, and when I was in Little League, or even sometimes, if you're in college, I think, and you play, you're forced to wear a cup, those metal cups down there. You don't have to do that for softball, because, again, it's not considered to be quite as hard. Plus, it's an easier ball to hit. That's kind of like the idea of the softball question. It's kind of like you're loving. Are you ready? Ready? Here it is. I'm going to throw you this big fat ball now. Come on, get ready. You can hit it well. It's kind of like that, like hitting it well is like answering the question. So they're just purposely giving them easy questions to answer. So we hear this a lot, in talk shows, and especially political talk shows. We say that the journalists, the reporters just gave them a lot of softball questions. Okay, good. Okay, well, anyway, let's look at some examples. When a news station is biased and wants to protect a politician or candidate they will often ask them a lot of softball questions. So that's one way we use it. Or number two, if you want to have a serious interview, or be taken seriously as a journalist or an interviewer, you cannot just ask softball questions. You have to ask some of the tough questions. Or the last one here, asking a politician which baseball team is his favorite is a softball question. So sometimes it may not even be about politics or what they're into. That's a really easy question to answer. Or sometimes, of course, it is about the politics, and they ask them the question that's not hard, and they let them talk. And then they may not follow up with tough or hard questions or hardball questions. They'll just let them talk, and they don't ask them, well, why? Well, if you do this, won't it cause this problem? And won't this be wrong if you do that? They don't follow up with these questions. They just throw them the nice softball and let them talk, blah, 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 and say, oh yeah, that's wonderful, that's great. And that's what they do. They just let them have a lot of softball questions, and they don't follow with a lot of the tough questions. Okay, anyway, I hope you got it. I hope it was clear. I hope it was informative. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.